Today on the show, we talk about the power of being an introvert. Oh, and Matthew Pollard insults the crap out of me. How's it going, everybody? I wanted to shoot a couple of videos here expanding on some of the points that came up in my interview with Matthew Pollard. I hope you've had a chance to check that out. It's great. Go back, there'll be links here and down in the description and all that good stuff to the full interview. It's fantastic. I really enjoyed chatting with him. Except this part. It's such a great point that we don't hear about every day, is that you don't have to be the Gary V's, who I love. It's great, but we're not all Gary V out there, self-promoter and everything. Not everyone's as obnoxious as I am, for instance. You know, that's my favorite. I don't think I even noticed it during the interview when I say, "Oh, I'm obnoxious," and he just says, "Yeah." Not everyone's as obnoxious as I am, for instance. You know, that's awesome. But seriously, there's some points he brought up in this interview, and his upcoming book that I talk about in the show as well, called The Introvert's Edge. It's really where his power has come from, is being an introvert, and he's turned that into a sales and marketing superpower, where he was forced, because of learning disabilities he's had and his natural shyness, he was forced to come up with the systems to make sure that he still succeeds in sales, in marketing, in running a business. And I think there's such power to that. Such power for them. And Matthew brought this up in the show, and he talks about his full story, but these are some points that he brought up during the show.
I for myself, I really felt like I went through this stage where I learned how to create business for myself, and now I share that with others. I mean, I grew up heavily introverted, as you know, and I had no idea what I wanted to do with my career, with my life, and I didn't come out of the gate just knowing how it was all going to work. Right. And I think that is kind of one of the things that makes the message that I have to share very different. It's because I learned to be successful out of strategies, out of systems. I mean, I had a reading speed of a 6th grader in late high school, was horribly introverted, and I fell into sales purely because the company I was working for went bankrupt just before Christmas. Oh my goodness. So all of those things together, it's kind of like sometimes when your back is against the wall, you have to figure things out that most people normally won't. And now I love to share that with other people so they don't have to have their back up against the wall. That's fantastic, because, and I've heard you make this point, that differentiator is because you can show up and go through those systems and those strategies every single day, no matter if you're having, the extrovert can have a great day and be wonderful, but then, they just happen to have a fight that morning or having an off day. Well, then everything goes to crap because that for them isn't there. But if your system is here again, you're always going to succeed. You're always going to hit it. Well, that's exactly right. I mean, I spoke at Electrolux in January, and I got on the stage and I spoke there, and it was a 30-hour flight up, it was a 30-hour flight back, because it's the only flight. I mean, they booked me in December for January. And where was it? It was in Bangkok. Okay. So, firstly, there is no way I would have said yes to that, ever. But here's the cool thing. My grandfather used to sell Electrolux vacuum cleaners door to door. So I was like, this is cool. Like, my grandfather used to sell door to door, which is the job that, is the job that no one wants to do. Right. And now I'm advising on their corporate strategy. Hell yes, I'm going to go. I moved a bunch of things to make that possible. That's awesome. But I got up on stage, and it was a custom speech, but I'd practiced it. So I was incredibly jet lagged. I'd arrived the day before, but here's the thing about China. They wanted to take me out to dinner 3 times before I presented. So what time did I have to prepare when I got there? I was very well prepared. I prepared the morning of, but I was still jet lagged. But guess what? No one else could tell. I got an adrenaline rush because I get one about going on stage, which gave me the energy that I needed. But next, I knew my stories so back to front, or how Americans say it, front to back. Yeah, everything's backwards in Australia. I knew them so well that it didn't matter. By the way, that joke, completely rehearsed, said it a bunch of times before. right? So the whole thing was about just delivering what I knew I could deliver. Then when I got back on a plane and I got back, I had a bunch of pre-booked calls. I allow people to book a 30-minute phone call with me where I don't sell on those. I literally will go through and work out exactly how I can create rapid growth in your business and tailor that advice to you during that 30 minutes. Now, I had like 9 of those phone calls booked in for the Friday I got back because I didn't want to move that entire day. But here's the thing, I was jet lagged, but a lot of what I do is scripted. So even though I was customizing advice, I was pulling on that story and that story and this piece of advice that I've given before. All of it was stuff I've done before. Yep. Now, I've worked with, I worked with a guy from Colliers International who was a massive extrovert, 2 parents that were both salespeople by nature, massive extroverts too. And he was like, come on, mate, you can't teach me anything about how to be a salesperson. You're an introvert, therefore I'm more natural than you. And I went, let me tell you a story. And I told him a story, and the whole story was about giving me credibility and about talking about how to use stories to develop credibility. So it was like this, he got entangled in this story, and he's like, all right, I've got to take this guy seriously, but I still don't think it's going to work. Went out and tried it. Colliers International in Austin has 3 salespeople, and their average turnover is about $3 million a year. Within 6 hours of teaching them this, they were working on bigger deals than they've ever had before, bigger accounts, people that they would never have normally got into the door with. They put $1 million on their bottom line for potential sales within just 6 weeks of working with me during telling this story. So it works for extroverts too. So as an extrovert, your ability to sell, your ability to negotiate, your ability to go in and ask for a promotion is 100% locked into your personality and how you're feeling today.
Yeah.
As an introvert, it's about 90% locked into the system and the strategy you're using. So for me, yeah, sure, I was flat when I got back from the Electrolux conference. So sure. I probably delivered to about 90%, but not 10%.
Right.
And my results with what I did were probably almost exactly the same.
So yeah, that's something that really opened my eyes to the power of that, of not only using, if you're an introvert, using that as a gift, to prepare yourself and actually become stronger at the end of it all. But then if you are an extrovert, or, maybe both, an ambivert, as they say, in and out of different situations, which I think I would be. I'm extrovert in some ways. I certainly get my energy from talking to folks, like on the show, for sure. I find myself just full and ramped up of energy when I do that. But at the same time, I know I need my just by myself time to refuel, if you will. So both of those things are really powerful to me. I think I go in and out of cycles a little bit, which I'm the perfect candidate, to really need an overhaul, I think, on some of my sales and marketing systems that I'm going through right now, actually, thanks to Matthew, and thanks to folks like Raj Daniels and Anthony Amix, some amazing folks in my life that are helping me put some of those systems in place. This has been great. Hey, if you like videos like this, so the interviews, make sure you subscribe here on the channel. If you're watching this natively on Facebook for this video, make sure you head on over to the YouTube channel, The Jason Croft, and subscribe. Thanks so much.